This old guy DIY video has to do with troubleshooting a 1985 Kubota L2550 31 horse tractor. I was out bush hogging today, minding my own business. I went for about an hour and then the tractor started lugging and then shut off. So when I go to try to start it, it'll try to start, but nothing happens. So I suspected I had a fuel issue. This is the first time I've used the tractor since plowing snow a month ago. So the first thing I did here, thinking I had a fuel issue, is I disconnected this little fuel line from the fuel pump. And you can see there's no fuel coming out. So I suspect either my fuel filter is plugged up or I have a chunk of goo up in the fuel tank. So what I'm going to do right now is just get an air compressor, put the nozzle right to the end of this hose and blow back into the tank. If it's a globule of crap in the tank, it should dislodge it. I'll let whatever fuel remains run into a pan and I'll refill this thing with fresh fuel. Well, I loosened the cap. I blew in there with compressed air. You can see we now have diesel fuel running out of it. So I don't know if there was a booger from where that stuff congealed in the winter, exactly what the problem is, but I'm going to drain out all the old fuel. I'll put some fresh stuff in and see if this fixes my problem. Before blowing the air in here, I just loosened the cap, and when I shot the air in, you could hear the cap bounce. I'm hoping this is a solution to my problem. We'll know here shortly. Since I had the air hose here anyway, in an effort to speed the evacuation, I just put a towel over the cap. Then I shoot air in there, and it just forces all that old fuel out of there. Patience is one of my greatest skills. After blowing out that fuel line and putting more fuel in the tank, I had to start it a few times. Apparently we had to prime the system. But now that it has fuel flow, it's happy, ready to do its job again. So gladly it was something easy. We're back in action. I'll go back to bush hogging. The tractor ran for about an hour before stopping again due to the blocked fuel line. And since I have about 4 gallons of fuel in there, I brought the little compressor down. I'm just going to blow it out to dislodge whatever is blocking the line from the fuel tank to the fuel pump. See if I can limp through this job. Just trying to cut down the old corn stalks and stuff. And then when I get back up near the barn, I'll vacuum out the fuel tank and hopefully I can get whatever solids are blocking that line off. I only made it about 20 minutes before it failed again. Pulled the line off, you can see there's no fuel flow. I'll blow it out again. I'm just gonna take it up to the barn. This time I'll drain the fuel into a can and I'll go vacuum the thing out now and see if I can help myself. I prefer not to remove the tank unless I absolutely have to. So in this case, I use this flexible whip to suck the fuel out of a Kubota tractor that had a bunch of debris in the bottom of the fuel tank. And what I do is take a garden hose, I cut a chunk off the end at about a 45, so when I go down into the bottom of the tank, it doesn't deadhead and cause the vacuum to just suck hard. It'll actually pick up the crud. But I cut one end at that angle, I take the other end and just stick it into the vacuum hose, and then I either use duct tape or this yellow vinyl tape, and I just tape this joint, and it works out really well. This is what the finished tool looks like. You see the vac with the hose, and then I have this flexible extension. If you move the hose from this end over to this side, you can also blow through here. I have all the solids out of the shop vac, so when I go and suck this stuff out, I'll be able to see what came out of the tank. This is what the residue looks like that came out of the bottom of that tank. I'll refill the tank with fuel and see if I fix my problem. Since I had replaced the filter a couple of years ago, and the first time I had the tractor for about 10 years before I replaced the filter, I was reluctant to replace it, but I took it out right now, and the bottom of the filter is just all covered with crap. When I look in the bowl, you can see all the solids in there, and that big wad of residual crap right here I just dumped out of the filter bowl. So I'll go order a new filter As long as I had the tank all vacuumed out, I didn't want to leave this as a potential plug and then have to come back to it later. So the saga continues. All that crap, it tells me the filter did its job anyway, so at least it didn't damage the engine. This stuff in the bottom of the filter housing is actually like mud. I wasn't expecting that. If I look at my collection of rust and solids in the bottom of this yellow pan, after dumping the filter, as well as what I vacuumed out, there's quite a bit of crud there. So I'm hoping when I replace the filter, my problem will be solved. After vacuuming out the fuel tank, getting all those fines out of there, and cleaning what appeared to be mud out of the fuel filter, this thing ran great for the 2 hours that it took to cut that field behind the tractor. Thank you for watching.